morning students, and welcome back to the online classes. And like in my previous Zoom meeting with you, where I told you that we will be moving now into division algorithm. Now first let's understand what this division algorithm is all about before we go into sums of division algorithm. So what I do is I'm just giving you an example. This example has to be copied. After you have copied this example, only then you will do sum number 6. We are on sum number 6. So we are targeting basically today sum number 6, 7 and 8. Each sum will have a separate video. So we are moving into sum number 6, that is based on division algorithms, but I have to understand what division algorithm is all about. So for that, I take an example, or I am taking an example to show you as to what division algorithm is all about. It may have a very difficult and a big name, but actually it is very simple. It is basically how you verify whether you have divided correctly or not divided. Every sum that we do of various mathematical basic operations, they have a way of checking it. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and now we come to division that has a way of checking whether you have correctly divided or not. To check that, we use what is called the division algorithm. Now let's take an example. Suppose I have divide 427 by 4. Remember, this example has to be copied into your notebook. So I'm going to divide, then I'm going to check using the division algorithm, and then I will be doing the sum there and checking again and showing you. All the work that will be displayed on the board today has to be into your notebook or has to be copied into your notebook. Now before we start division algorithm, I will tell you the terminologies that I used for division as I am doing the sum. So first let's divide 427 by 4 and see what's the answer. Now 427 is being divided by 4. 4 goes into 4 only one time. So I get 4. I subtract, I get 0. What is the next step of division that your teachers have taught you? You take down the next number. Now 4 cannot go in 2 because 2 is smaller than 4. 4 times table starts with 4 ones are 4. And this is smaller than 2. Now when you take down the number and the number does not go by the number that you are dividing by, then what do you do? In your answer, which you call quotient, we put a 0. And we take down the next number. When we take down the next digit or next number, not number, we won't say number, we call it the digit because these 3 digits make the number 427. So I take down the next digit, and when I take down the next digit, now the number 2 becomes 27. And now I ask myself, 4 goes into 27, how many times? 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8, 4 threes are 12, 4 fours are 16, 4 fives are 20, 4 sixes are 24, and 4 sevens are 28. So not 7 times but 6 times. So 4 6 are 24, and I get a remainder of 3. I cannot move any further because the remainder, whenever you're dividing, remember, if you're on the right track on dividing, every time you get a remainder, year 2, year 3, it will be always smaller than the number that you are dividing the number by. Now, when I have finished my division in the lower classes you were taught, you write Q is equal to 106, R is equal to 3. Now to refresh your mind and rewind of what was taught to you in division by your maths teachers, this particular number that we are dividing, it's given a particular name. It is called the dividend. It is called the dividend. The number that is being divided is called the dividend. the number that you use to divide it is called the divisor. It is called the divisor. These are terms that you have to know. And why did you write q is equal to 106? Because this answer that you get on dividing, this is given a particular name, and the name given to it is quotient. It is called the quotient. It is not called the answer, it is called the quotient. Whenever we divide a number by another number, we don't get an answer, we get a quotient. Sometimes we just get only a quotient and no remainder. So we only write the quotient and we write remainder as 0. There is nothing remaining. Means the number is perfectly divisible, or the dividend is perfectly divisible by the divisor. But in all cases it does not happen. In all cases it does not happen. You may have a remainder. That means you cannot divide any further. In that case, when I cannot divide any further and I have a number left, this number that is left is called the remainder. Is called the remainder. Remember, children, that this diagram of the example has to be transferred into your notebook. Now, coming to division algorithm. Division algorithm means check whether you have divided correctly or not. Now, how do I check? The division algorithm says that when I multiply the divisor and the quotient, and after I get the answer, I add it to the remainder. Here I multiply divisor with quotient, and then I take the quotient. Then I take not the quotient, I get the answer. That means I have to multiply 4 into 106, get an answer, and when I add what is remaining, I should get the dividend. The answer should be equal to the dividend. That means divisor multiplied by quotient added to remainder must give me the dividend. First multiply, then add, and what you get as the answer should be the quotient. And therefore, that is called division algorithm. So when I look at this diagram, I divided 427 by 4. I have got a quotient of 106 and the remainder of 3. Now I need to check whether I have divided correctly or not, and that is called division algorithm. To check my answer, I multiply the divisor with the quotient, and what answer I get, I add. I will put an equal to sign out here for you to understand the steps. 4 multiplied by 106. The answer that you get, that is equal to, the answer that you get, to that you will add the remainder. Equal to will give you your dividend. And when you get your dividend, that means, if you get the correct dividend, that means you have divided correctly. Now let's apply the division algorithm and see whether we have divided this correctly or not. Remember, arrow by arrow, box by box, this entire diagram has to be made exactly like I have made it in your notebook. Let's check. So what is the formula? The formula is that if I want my quotient, that is the number that I am dividing, the number that is being divided is called the, not the quotient, the dividend. Not the quotient, the dividend. I am searching for the dividend. I have to find my dividend. So the dividend, that means the number that is being divided must be equal to the divisor multiplied by the quotient and then added to the remainder. Please follow step by step. Again, the division algorithm means to get my dividend. The dividend is the answer. This is not the answer. This is called quotient. This is not the answer. This is called remainder. This is not the answer. This is the number that is dividing that particular number, so it's called the divisor. So to get my dividend, after I have divided the entire sum, to check whether I have done the division correct, I have to get the answer of the dividend. My aim is to get this number. And to get this number, I must multiply the divisor with the quotient and add the remainder to get this number. And if I get that number, that means I have divided the sum correctly. So dividend, that is the number that is being divided, is called the dividend. The number that is dividing it is called the quotient. How many times it gets divided? Sorry, the number that is being divided is called the dividend. The number that is dividing it is called the divisor. The number that I get after dividing, the number or how many times the divisor goes into the divisor goes into the dividend, how many times the divisor goes into the dividend, this number is called the quotient. And if I have any number remaining that does stop me or does not allow me to divide any further, is called the remainder. So to get the dividend, I must multiply the divisor with the quotient and add the remainder. And if I get the correct dividend, the dividend that I am using, then my division is correct. Division algorithm means to check whether you have divided correctly or not. Now let's see whether we get that dividend. The dividend should be equal to divisor 4 multiplied by quotient 106 added to remainder 3. Now I don't know whether you heard of BODMAS or not, but you must have heard of DMAS for sure. DMAS means first division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. So also here, first I will multiply. I cannot add 106 to 3 and then multiply by 4. I won't get my answer correct. In mathematics, you always use a format when you have a lot of operations being done. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All these operations, if you are doing them together, first you have to divide, then you have to multiply, then you have to add, and then you have to subtract. So now I have multiplication and addition. So first I will multiply and then I will add. So my dividend should be equal to 4 into 106. I am mentally doing it. If you want, you can do it in the rough. The answer will be the same. 4 6 are 24. Carry 2. 4 goes into 0. 4 zeros are 0. So that 2 comes down. 4 ones are 4. So 4 multiplied by 106 gives me 424 plus 3. So my dividend is equal to 424 plus 3, 427. Same answer, 427. That means that I have divided correctly. To check whether you have divided correctly is using the division algorithm. This is the algorithm, or this is the formula. To check, a method of checking whether you've divided properly is called division algorithm. This formula that we apply to find whether I have divided correctly is called division algorithm. Now we go to sum number 6. I will do the sum here and I will check it there. Sum number 6 says, divide 6,750 by 13 and verify the result by division algorithm. 6750 divided by 13. So I take 6750 and I divide it by 13. 13 ones are 13. 13 twos are 26. 13 threes are 39. 13 fours are 52. 13 fives are 65. So I am close to 67. I don't have to try for 13 sixes. 13 fives are 65. 5 threes are 15. Carry 1. 5 ones are 5 and 1. 6. 65. 7 take away 5 is 2. 26. This is 25. It won't go 13 twos, it will go only once. 13 ones are 30. 5 take away 3, 2. 2 take away 1, 1. Remember, whenever you get a number remaining after subtraction, it always must be less than the divisor. 2 is less than 13, I am dividing correctly. 12 is less than 13, I am dividing correctly. Whenever you have a remainder bigger than the divisor, that means you are dividing wrong. That means the quotient has to be increased by 1. Instead of 4 times, it has to be 5 times. Instead of 2 times, it has to be 3 times. You always get the remainder. The remainder in division is always smaller than the divisor. Now I take down the next number, 0. I have 120. Now 13 5s are 65. 13 6s are 6, 3s are 18. 6 1s are 6 and 7, 78. Let's go to the next number. 13 7s are 7, 3s are 21. 7 1s are 7 and 2, 91. Let's go to the next number. 8 3s are 24. 8 1s are 8 and 2, 10, 104. 104. There's still 16. So let's go to 9. 9 3s are 27. 9 1s are 9 and 2 11. 117. Now I have come close to 120. So 13 9s are 117. 10, this becomes 1. 10 take away 7 is 3. 0 0. What do I get quotient as? 519. And what do I get remainder as? I get remainder as 3. Now I will check whether I have divided correctly or not using the division algorithm. So, because I have less space, I am writing in short, but you will write the complete word. So, dividend is equal to divisor, DIV means divisor, into Q means quotient, plus R means remainder. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So what is my dividend? Let's check. Do I get the same dividend? What is my divisor? The number that I am dividing by is called the divisor, 30. The number that I get upon dividing the dividend by the divisor, the number that I get on top of the dividend is called the quotient. What is the quotient? 519. Plus the remainder, 3. So what is my dividend? I have to multiply 519 by 30. I'll go down in this corner and I will do that. 519 into 30. 3 9s are 27. 3 1s are 3 into 5. 3 5s are 15. Cancel. 1 9s are 9. 1 1s are 1. 1 5s are 5. Now I add 7. 9 and 5. 14, carry 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7, 5 and 1, 6. 6, 7, 4, 7. 6, 7, 4, 7 is my answer. So 6, 7, 4, 7 plus 3. 6, 7, that's 6,747 plus 3. So what's my dividend? 6,747, if I add 3 to it, 47 plus 3, 50. So my answer is 6750. Is 6750 my dividend? 6750 is my dividend. So division algorithm is nothing but a formula, a concept, a way of finding out whether you have divided your dividend by the divisor correctly. This method that we use to check our division, whether we've divided correctly or not, is called the division algorithm. All of this has to be copied into your notebook. You decide how you have to put it on the page. You will copy this first, then the checking, then this, and then the checking. So one under the other, it should fit in one page. If not, if it goes to the other page, no problem. But all